Let me ask you this, Josue. Have we seen the best of OKC yet? Because we talked about the fact that we haven't seen much of Chet this year. They could add a shooter like Cam Johnson. This team could be scarier. Have we seen the best of this team yet? They looked really good in what we saw them do against the Knicks, the Celtics, even in the loss to the Cavs. They still look good. They look the part like they could be a champion, but have we seen the best of them yet?
I don't think we have, man. That's the scary part.
That's scary.
Man, Isaiah Hartenstein hasn't even played a game alongside Chet Holmgren. And that's the whole reason why they got his ass, right? I mean, that's the reason why they brought him in. I mean, it was for depth. Obviously this is an ideal. I mean, it isn't ideal, for him to go down the way he did, but they were able to plug him right into the starting five. He's lost 3 games since since his debut. What was it, about 12 games into the season? He's been healthy ever since. And we still haven't seen what this team looks like when they're both out there. Not to say that they'll both start. We'll see what Mark does with that, because he shuffles lineups a lot. So sometimes it's hard to pinpoint like what's the starting five. But I'm sure when Holmgren is back, he's gonna have a lot of fun mixing and matching and coming up with the right starting five. But either way, just having him in the rotation, I mean, man, like I knew he was a two-way player, but his passing. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know about him as much, and now seeing it, the way it's played out with the Thunder, it's incredible, man. He's having a blast too, man. That's the fun part. He's also keeping up with the Knicks, though. He did tell us that during Christmas Day he was enjoying that game, and he keeps in contact with those guys, with his former teammates. But yeah, man, Knicks couldn't give him that dough, man. They couldn't give him that they offered that he wanted, so he went to OKC, and it's been a seamless fit with him.
I'm happy to see him get his money. I know the Knicks fans miss him here, and he was so integral to this Knicks team last year. We got Knicks 100 a game, so the hard money is stretching much further than what it here. Yeah, taxes, my friend. Yes, taxes and the cost of living changes a lot of that. Knicks 100.
I'm saving out here, fellas. Saving though.
I'm sure you are. I am sure you are.
I don't even want to tell you what a one bedroom is out here, man. It's
don't make us mad. We don't need to be mad.
Actually, no. Tell us, because I'm curious.
Yeah. Tell Bryan, because he's considering moving to Oklahoma City.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not a fan. I couldn't survive there. Listen, no offense to people who live in like Oklahoma City, for example, but like I would say there are reasons why one bedrooms may cost a certain thing out there.
Yeah, the look on your face was so funny. You get one of these, like
it's overpriced. Look, we're overpriced here, but that's a political discussion for another day. The housing crisis,
and Boston's not that far behind from you guys, man. Boston was trying to be like New York, man. It's crazy.
Miami, San Francisco, you already know. All right, let me ask you this, Josue, because we already put Cam Johnson on the Oklahoma City Thunder, for a couple first round picks. Maybe
Isaiah Joe.
Maybe Jang has to be in the deal also to make the money work. We already mentioned
Jang, another one. Yeah, it's got to be a mix of those. 3 of those 4 players got to be a mix of that, right?
Yeah, we've already.
They can match up.
We've already done that, but like whether or not they make a move, I mean, what's their closing lineup going to be looking like on a consistent basis? Because we already talked about how Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein haven't played together yet. There are going to be times where they're out there together on the floor, and there are going to be times where they're sort of splitting time. And you could just rotate in one and have one in at all times. But what is that closing lineup going to look like? Because somebody's going to have to get squeezed. And I think you're probably going to answer it this way. It's not going to be the same on a game-to-game basis. But still, what is that process going to look like?
Honestly, man, I would love to see those 2 guys in at the end of games, man. Like, I just think the versatility you have between Chet and Isaiah, you couple that with J-Dub, Jalen Williams, SGA, Lou Dort. That's it for me, man. I think you get a little bit of everything in that 5. We just haven't seen it, man. Like that's the thing. I mean, Hartenstein he missed the entire preseason. Like he was hurt going in. They didn't overlap. When Chet went down 10 games in, there was a 2-game stretch or 5 days, 6-day stretch where they had to go. They signed Brandon Colson, who they just waived recently, and he didn't even play much, but they just sort of had to have that depth, But they were able to pull it off anyways because Jalen Williams became the center for that throughout that stretch, and then Hartenstein came back. He didn't start his first game, but he's been starting ever since. So I just think he's really adapted to being that starting big man. And when you look at the struggles that we saw against the Cavs, I would love to see those two just find that continuity, find that chemistry as soon as possible, and then going into the playoffs and just have that sort of that depth lineup. I mean, look, it doesn't. Maybe it's not the way they start, but if that's the way they finish, I just think that would be very intimidating for a lot of teams when you have 20+ score and a big and Chet Holmgren who can stretch the floor. Isaiah Hartenstein who can do it a little bit. He's talked about trying to get his 3-point shot back into his game. But either way, man, between his passing and his defending, that's a lot for opposing teams to deal with, in the paint and just overall when you got SGA and Jalen Williams with them as well.